All right, as you guys can see, it's got a patch here now. I carved a little plug out for that. Show you this from the other side. Here's the soundboard. You guys can see that. There's the patch right in here. I'm going to leave this hole open, the knot hole, and I've got the body, I would say about 90% there. As far as the depth of the chamber, and the inside's good and cleaned out. I've scraped it, glued up the knot, and trimmed off all the excess that I really feel comfortable with trimming. So at this point, what I'm going to do is glue the soundboard on, and then after it's glued on and dry, then I'm going to kind of blend all this in together. And from that point, probably start working on the braces here and the arch on top. But yeah, it's got a good chamber in it, so I should have plenty enough material still left that I can sand, thin, and shape all this. If the sound quality is not that good with this sound hole, I can always put another one up there. But I'll start off just with this and see where that takes us. So, next thing, glue the soundboard on. And here we go. It is glued in place. See if you guys can hear that. All right, so the first step is to even all this out as much as I can. I'm sure there's always going to be a seam, but I'm going to try to minimize that because if you guys can tell up here, let's see if you're right there, you got a gray, kind of a gray part or gray color in the wood, and then you got a darker, and then it lightens up. So you can see that. I was able to match um, the section of wood, mirror it, I guess. So with the soundboard, so it's the same all the way down. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim off the excess here. Round this a little bit. I've got to be really careful because this section right here is really, it's the one piece of the wood that I found that's dry, and so it likes to chip. So I have to watch that. Round this over, and then lastly, kind of take off this little lip right here. Once I've got that set, then I can start sanding everything down. And I also might thin the top plate a little bit. We'll see. Just kind of depends on how everything looks after this is done. But yeah, that's where we're at. All right, guys. Hopefully you can see this okay. I've done some work with 60 grit sandpaper and super glue. The soundboard is on. I'm really happy with that. Tell you what, I have no idea how this is going to sound, guys, but I'm really having a blast making it anyway. So we'll see how it does. Now, you see where I got a little dip right there? What I'm going to do As a matter of fact, I'll just show you real quick. Cheap super glue. This stuff costs like less than a buck a vial here. It's very cheap. I actually put too much down. But anyway, where I've got a gap, because I've already got the wood glue holding everything nice and steady. There we go. If you guys can see, it just uses the wood's own sawdust to fill in the gap. All right. Let's see the next step. Um, Next step is going to be probably sanding this knot side here because, guys, there's some curl in this wood that absolutely pops sections of grain out. I can cut from one way just a little bit and cut from another way just for a little bit, and otherwise it will go in too deep and pop out whole chunks of wood. So what I'm going to do is just go on to sanding this. I think the next go around, get this nice. You can see the wormholes. I might fill them or just leave them as is. I'm not in a, they don't bother me because they're all over, as you can see. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this installment. Thanks for coming along on the ride with this, and I hope you guys had a wonderful Sunday. And as always, stay safe, take care, and God bless.